Right, so let's look at this lab where we're going to use a metasploitable website and then a vulnerability scanner, and this will be Kali. So you should find that the host will connect through the DHCP, and you'll be allocated an IP address from them. Okay, so one of the main things we'll have a look at is how we discover vulnerabilities on websites and how we can go forward and exploit them. Also to be able to understand what the web logs will actually look like for each of these attacks. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is that we'll actually open up our two virtual machines. And here we are. So we have a Kali one. And then we have a metasploitable one. Okay, so let's place that one there. And then the other one here. Okay, so I've started up the user interface on Kali. What you can do is I'll just restart it. In fact, I'll just restart both of them just so that you can see us back at the starting place. So power that one off. And then I'll power this one off too. And then we'll just start back up again. Okay, so we should be able to get started from there. Okay, so we're going to go from the Kali machine into the metasploitable image and be able to run various tools from there. Okay, so that's our Kali instance started up, and the metasploitable one is getting there too. Okay, so there we are. And then for this one, we can log in. Let's try that again. Okay, so we can get logged in. So what I'll do is I'll just start the X Windows server so that we can get a graphical interface on our metasploitable instance. So the first thing that you need to do is to get rid of this lock on a file, x0 lock. Okay, so this is fine. And that's started up with our metasploitable instance. Just right click and you should be able to bring up some terminals and so on. So let's just bring up a shell here. There we are. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is to have a look at what our IP addresses are, because we're going to go from one machine to another. So that's 10.200.0.47 there, and then over here, and the MAC address is this one here, and then over here we have 0.24. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a quick scan of the network to see what hosts are actually alive, and we do that on a 24-bit subnet mask. It just takes a little minute to run. Okay, so here are the machines. There's the default gateway, and we should be able to see 47 appearing quite soon. and it is there. Okay, so there it's there, there's the MAC address and so on. Okay, so what we'll do next is to actually have a look at the ports, the web ports. It's web that we're mainly interested in. So we'll have a look at the ports for 80 and 8080 are the two default ports that we're going to use, and then we're scanning 47. Okay, so we can see here that we have HTTP and HTTP proxy set up for 80 and an 88. The next thing we can do is to be able to look at the -SV to be able to fingerprint these services that are the web services that are running. And there we go. We can see it as an Apache, HTTP, daemon, 2.2.8, Ubuntu, and so on. So often what we do is we now look at we look at the service using netcat. So we'll 0.47 on port 80. We do head /HTTP on point 1. Press return a couple of times, and then it comes back with the server information. Then we can do the same with the options request. You can see the options is given us some information about the website. What we'll do is over here we'll then have a look at the logs. So we'll find them in var log and then Apache 2. We'll have a look at the tail of access.log, and we can see there's the head and the options. Okay, so we can actually see the return. There's a 400 return rather than a 200, and we can pick up from the log the IP address and so on. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to run Wireshark over here. We'll just run it as sudo. Okay, so I'll just move that one there. And then we're going to run nick2 on the host, and we're going to this address here. And then we'll just capture that data. So we might see a lot of background data. So what we'll do is we'll just focus on the traffic that's going to our target. 47. Let's just check. 47, that's right. Okay, so that's us capturing the traffic now. And we'll just have a little look to see what this tool is actually going to give us. Okay, so this is going to do a vulnerability scan to be able to look at common exploits and so on, and actually have a look to see what problems that we might have on the site. Okay, so what you can see from the trace is there's a lot of probing for different types of vulnerabilities. There's get docs and so on. So it's obviously using HTTP to be able to get access to the website and discover the vulnerabilities actually on them. Okay, so already it's found there is a test folder, icons, and here is a phpinfo.php file. There's my PHP, my admin folder can be accessed. And if we look at our logs over here, we'll probably see lots of accesses for different types of files, all from the same IP address. Okay, so this tends to be a high octane scan, as we can see from our Wireshark trace. Okay, so we'll just stop the Wireshark trace, and then we'll have a look at some of these vulnerabilities just to see if we can pinpoint what they are. So the PHP info file is an interesting one. So we're using a LAMP stack, Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. So my PHP info is just a little page that gives us some information on the PHP environment itself, and often used to debug. But if we leave it open, then it can actually provide a whole lot of information there. Okay, so just let me change my proxy. We'll come up against this later. So this is using a proxy to be able to get to our destination. So let's say no proxy, and we'll go directly. Okay, so with this page, it can actually give away quite a bit of information about the environment and so on. So it's not a good idea to have that exposed. It's also saying that the doc directory is there, which is a bit worrying, and there's a test directory. And there's an icons directory from the top level. Not quite there, but it's found that. And you can see there's a number of other vulnerabilities that it's actually found. Okay, so the next tool that we're going to look at is Vega, and with this we can actually scan for all the folders that are actually on the site, giving us a full structure of the site. It will also give us key alerts. Okay, so we can go ahead and scan, but this is a previous scan here that we have, and we can actually see here are all the folders, the directories on the site, and these are all the links that it goes to, and it gives us a number of alerts. You can see here there's 12 here. Clear text password over HTTP, not really a good thing. That should be HTTPS, and there's some scripting errors, problems, and so on. Okay, so Vega is a good tool for us to be able to detect a scan, to scan for vulnerabilities and understand the structure of our site. So when you run it, you should be able to see. We'll just start a new scan again, and we'll go for 10.200.0.47. Okay, so that's fine. There it goes. So let's look over here, and there we go. There's the sign of Vega there, and you can see it's starting to look into different folders and so on, looking for all the files and all the contents. so we'll just actually stop that scan. Again, have a look with Wireshark and see what it actually shows.